Welcome back. We are finishing out Midday today with JP Lancaster from Red Collar Brewing on Lansdowne. How are you?
Awesome. Friday. Can't complain.
I know.
Yeah.
No complaints on a Friday. We are talking today about a couple of different craft beers. And these growlers, if you don't have one yet, is a great thing to do. I actually bought one of these and took it to my dad in Victoria, and he loved it. And then he sent it back with me, and it's sitting in my garage empty.
Oh, that's shameful. I know you're hurting my feelings.
Shame. I'm hurting my own feelings. So yeah, I got to come in. It's a little reminder to me to come in and fill it up, because that's what people do.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, and that's kind of the concept with the growlers, right? Is you can get draft beer to go. So I mean, that draft beer is your freshest representation of the product. You come into the brewery, we fill it straight up off the taps. You take that home and enjoy it at the beach or whatever, right? But yeah, it's interesting you mentioned your dad being in Victoria.
Yeah.
That's where I got into the business there. And, you know, it was just such a huge culture. So, you know, and this is going back 5-6 years.
Which brewery were you at?
Phillips.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, and so that was my first exposure to growlers, and it was a huge culture. And it's cool to see here, you know, on a Friday, this afternoon, for example, we're going to be lined up out the door with people doing the same thing. So it's just a great way to have the experience of being in a pub, but you can take the beer to go.
Yes.
And I mean, and the other side too is, you know, it's recyclable, it's yours to keep and all that sort of stuff.
Totally, good for the environment. Tell me this, how many pints are you getting out of this? How quickly do you need to drink it before it loses its zippy pap?
So we offer the 2-liter and the 1-liter size. So I mean, 2-liter is about the equivalent of a jug of beer. So that's a good amount if you're entertaining people. Our 1-liter is called a squealer, the smaller stature. So I mean, that's just if, you know, you want to have a pint and a half yourself.
Right.
This one right here, so that is your issue, right? Is it is hand capped, so that could sit in your fridge unopened for about 3 to 4 days, and it's still going to have carbonation. Once you do open it though, and you introduce oxygen, you're looking at about 24 hours.
So get her done.
Yeah. So,
okay.
But I mean, you know, that amount of beer, right? If you got a few friends over for dinner or whatever, it's pretty easy to get through it.
Oh yeah, for sure, really quickly. So what are in these two? I guess we should talk about what you're
absolutely. I wanted to talk about some of our more traditional styles of beer. I feel the past few times I've been on talking about the apricot sour, the cherry sour. Some of that's more out there stuff, and I mean, it's been amazing that those beers have got so much good. You know, people talk about it. They've been well received. Yeah. But you know, some people aren't into those really flavorful beers. You know, and it's just a reminder that we do very traditional styles. So I was going to start with our pale ale. You know, and again, we do some very by-the-book style. So a pale ale is traditionally English, under 5% generally if you get it over there. And it's just all about balance. And I think that's, you know, brewing is really, it's 50% science and then 50% cooking. You know, and the way we look at it is, you don't want to cook a dish and have one, you know, be incredibly salty or incredibly, you know, spicy. Like, you want there to be balance and harmony and tension and that sort of stuff. And that's exactly how beer works. So I mean, pale ale is just, you know, it's just meant to be an easy drinking, well-balanced, sessionable beer.
So are you back in the, where do we call the area that you're making the beer? We call that the
brew house.
The brew house.
The brewery, yeah.
Are you back there with David and doing like the checking and the testing and, oh, we need to add a little more of this and that?
And that's, you know, obviously David has the expertise, and then we have an assistant brewer by the name of Chris Stewart. But it is important, I mean, we all collectively weigh in, because everyone's palates are different, right? And you and I are going to gravitate towards different styles, but you know, by getting, you know, we get all the input of the staff, and then we know what flavors, you know, are we hitting the mark on, and then what flavors are we potentially missing the mark on. And so we work that way to formulate these recipes and just make sure quality's there.
All right, well, let's give this a go. What's this called again? I completely
Pale ale.
Right, just the pale ale. Here we go. Delightful. It's a very good
different end of the spectrum, going from that gin. But again, you know, a 4% beer. So, and the idea historically in England, you know, it's kind of twofold. They would be taxed differently when beer would hit 5% or above. So most English beers are traditionally sub 5%. And then the other side of it too is, you know, you go back a century. Even today, I guess it's not uncommon that people will go have a pint at lunch. You know, there's a different stigma around alcohol there. But you have a pint of a 4% beer. Right, you can still be normal. It's not as if you're having, you know, 6, 7, or like a triple that's 9%.
Yeah, huge difference.
Yeah, but yeah, so this is around,
nice.
It'll be around until probably mid-September or so, but just for folk, you know, that are getting into craft beer and want something balanced and traditional.
Yes.
But, you know, made in town and local and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's delightful. Very nice. As we pour the second one, I might ask you as well about your menu. Every time I go into Red Collar, you guys are bustling. You guys are busy. People are eating, and it's not just about beer. You guys are offering some food. I know you have for a while, but it keeps people hanging around longer, I think.
Yeah, for sure. You know, and we do some interesting events like last weekend. You know, every 4 to 6 weeks, we try and do a backyard barbecue.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, and our chef Dwayne, you know, he's just got this great barbecue background. So he's doing stuff. Last week, we did handmade burgers. So in a brioche bun that he made from scratch. You know, and then we're all there. Everyone in the brewery is just salivating as he's grinding steak to make the patties. He's grinding bacon in there. Like,
awesome.
It's about it. Yeah, it's about as real as you get. And so we try and do that sort of stuff. But on a day-to-day basis, you know, we order. You can order pizza. We do smoked wings on Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Lots going on.
Yeah, and just you know, it's simple, but it's all made from scratch. Everything. You know, we're making ourselves.
Awesome. Do you know we only have 30 seconds to get through this? We're worried we wouldn't fill the time.
Yeah, we did it.
Yeah, now we have to rush through, but let's quickly try this.
Yeah, so German Hefeweizen, traditional wheat beer. Again, one of our, you know, it's a very balanced beer. It's a summer offering, perfect with an orange slice in it. And yeah, let's enjoy it.
Delish. Cheers. Happy Friday. Delightful. Oh, that's nice. That's fresh. That's nice summer beer. Very good. Thank you for being here today. If you are looking to have a great evening out with some friends, Red Collar Brewing on Lansdowne, it's great. They've got all different kinds of beers, something for everybody for sure.